everybody. How you doing? Just thought I'd give a little update on the garage. I'm off doing some non-garage things today. Matter of fact, I'm headed up to a northern part of the coastal area of North Carolina right now, and heading off to Eastern Outfitters. But I thought I would, we've done some pretty non-garagey things here over the winter since we got back from Chicago. And I've got a piece on fixing a cassette deck for a hi-fi stereo, which is mine, of course. And then you know what, Chris Plant is, sorry about that, Chris Plant was just blaring in here. I'm going up to get something that my father had right now, which was lost somehow, and I wanted one like he had, and that would be a 30-06. I'm going up to look, actually. But there's some more garagey things coming up, so I appreciate, for those of you who really just tune in for the restoration stuff and whatnot, I'm sorry about that. It's been kind of a hectic time since Thanksgiving, as you all know. If you look back on my previous video on my emergency trip to Chicago with my wife. So I'm gonna get back to that. I've got some body work that I had to repair, and I was just watching DD Speed Shop, by the way, this morning, and he's got the right mindset. We both have this idea that, you know, you should post your mistakes and not have everything always look so perfect. And part of the reason for that is because, you know, you learn by making mistakes. I can tell you for a fact that I've made some pretty dumb mistakes, especially in my restoration, which if I had to do it all over again, I would do different. But one of these came back upon me, and it necessitated me having to redo it. So I have some body work that I'm doing on my F350, pretty minor, but it portends some problems that are going to necessitate probably more intense body work in the future. And then I have some minor miscellaneous things on the oil pressure gauge and whatnot that I have already in the can. So those will be coming. And then I also last week and this week, I've started working on my sun visors for the night. Really, I think it'll work for 1980 through 1996 Ford pickups, but in particular 1980 to 1986. And I'm gonna restore from scratch, just keeping the frame of my sun visors. I'm gonna reupholster them, stitch them, and etc. And I'll be posting all of that stuff coming up. So you know, stand by for some of that if there's anything else that comes up. I've got some also some videos on some sheet metal that I've unboxed, and I kind of go through that, what kind of metal, you know, pretty much who's supplying it and whatnot. It's not paid for it, but it is sort of a review, and I want to get to that as well. So more garagey stuff is certainly coming, and so stand by for that, all right? So sitting here, I got about 40-minute drive here, but I just wanted to shoot a quick video for you and get this up, especially since some of the stuff that I've been posting lately has not been garage related. So anyway, hang loose, hang loose, hang loose, and we'll see you in a bit. And I just thought I'd say something here. We're heading out of New Hanover County and into Pender County, and one thing about what's happening in North Carolina, as it's happening every place in really the South, Florida, Texas, some Tennessee, Mississippi, maybe some Alabama too, is that everything is getting built up around here because people are moving from Democrat-run states, and I don't state that as a political thing, it's just a fact. Although it is, you know, the fact that so many people are moving out of their home states and their hometowns or cities from the north, especially the Northeast, also Illinois, Chicago area, is a testament to what's happening in this country. It makes for a great demographic shift in the country, and how that plays out politically is what you see happening now in our politics, which I'm not going to get into, but let's just say it is it's pretty intense right now. And what is certainly happening is that in many of these areas that are booming, and into places like California, New York, New Jersey, Chicago, is that they're bringing in the illegals to bolster their position. Democrats in these places have been running the place for 100 years, and that means that the politics doesn't change, so they're just doing whatever the hell they want. And there's no doubt that in these states and these cities that they're running them into the ground. I mean, they're just not even livable places. And this is before immigration. So I'm traveling through kind of I just went through a big development part right now as we head into Pender County. And Pender County's great, I have to say. I've loved Pender County. In the late 1990s, the early 2000s, I spent every weekend here because I am a surfer, but I haven't surfed in a while now. But I used to do it every weekend, whether it was cold or not. And I would surf at Topsail Beach, which is one of my favorite places, back in the day anyway. Right now, I think it's been built up and they charge for parking now. I think they charge for parking now. But it used to be a bitchin' beach. It was the closest thing you could get to a Southern California beach here on the East Coast. The beach was huge. But anyway, so people are moving in here, and so part of the reason I'm headed up to Eastern Outfitters is because I wanted to, as I mentioned before, sort of a historical attachment to what my dad had, but maybe in the future we'll be able to find something. We're going to get out, find some space and some acreage. As everybody knows from my intro video, which I encourage you to go watch, is that everybody needs own space. So, but part of the, even with the demographic shift, what's happening is these people might be, for example, many of the people moving down here are not Democrats, let me put it that way, and they are Trump supporters for the most part, but the culture and everything changes along with it regardless. You might agree with them politically, but it brings with it a sense of lifestyle and a manner of living that, especially for those who have been in the South for a long time, and I'm just talking about the culture, I'm not talking about political beliefs, I'm not talking about attachments to the past, nothing like that, is much different. Like, for example, around my house, there have been several accidents because the people from the Northeast, especially New York and New Jersey, they like to run stop signs, and it's caused a ton of accidents. Not by the natives, but by those who have moved here, because they are less patient, more demanding, and I mean, everybody knows that. Put it in sort of not so delicate language, they're assholes. But that's not everybody, I will say. That's, you know, but it comes with the territory, okay? If that makes sense. So anyway, we're up here in about 7 miles away now, but we're up here in Pender, and let me flip this around. You can kind of see. So all of this stuff here was hardly here. None of this was here when I would drive up here. Most of this stuff was maybe a building here or there, like that one right there, or this one over here. You can tell it's old, but shut down. And it was a pretty nice and easy drive. Hempstead Crossing was been there since the 90s, but most of this stuff is built up recently. So this is what you have. Look at that one. Look at that going up. Good Lord. The roads have not kept up with the development, and that pretty much, look at that sucker, it's all closed down. And that pretty much means that it's going to be even more congested. In other words, it's going to look more like New York, New Jersey, and all those small towns around Rochester, stuff like that, Syracuse, in terms of congestion. But it makes for a very different lifestyle than you're used to. And in some ways that's sad, because you're losing the connection to the past, and I mean, you know, sort of local mannerisms and lifestyle, in terms of now everybody rushes, where it used to be people would be more relaxed and laid back. But now it's everybody's rushing to get somewhere and very impatient. So that's what I mean by changing the culture. The culture used to be less plugged in, and I mean plugged into the internet, even though it existed even back in the 90s and the early 2000s, and more tuned into your own headspace. And that leads to a really coarse community, if that makes sense. Anyway, off to Eastern. Hopefully we'll be there in a little bit. I have to say, these guys are great. I cannot say enough how great they are. Really nice bunch of folks in there. You know, probably everything's expensive now, and part of the reason for that is because people are buying a lot of stuff in case things go sideways, you know. So what I did was I got something that I will need, not necessarily want. And now, in terms of you know, firearms, I have everything that a family could need in that regard. So it's the one thing I would say is, I didn't know this, but it was really helpful to me, and it sped up the process quite a bit. So when you buy, let's say, a rifle or something like that, what you have is you have to fill out a federal form, whereas if you fill out a handgun, you need to go through much more, there's more hoops to jump through. So because I have a concealed carry permit, then it made everything like I could just jump through and purchase the gun, get it all set up the way I wanted to, and then boom, you know, done. But usually the federal, if you don't have a concealed carry, the federal form you have to fill out is maybe 20 minutes tops to get y'all approved and done. So anyway, we're heading back now, and it's been a productive day, but one that lightened my wallet, I'll tell you that. see if I can see. I don't know if you can see it back there, but got a Begara. Now, Begara is a manufacturer that used to work with Remington, and then they had a falling out, and you know, Remington has changed a lot in recent years. So finding a good quality USA maker right now, to be honest with you, is tough. Part of the reason for that is because of, yeah, you guessed it, federal government regulations, but also because America is not as a robust, manly country as it used to be in general. So anyway, very happy time. I cannot mention enough how much I loved those guys in there, Eastern Outfitters. They're really great. Especially the firearms guys are really, really great, knowledgeable, no pressure, and they take their time to sight things up with, you know, for you. So anyway, kudos to them, and man, let's get back to some garage stuff. Okay, yeah, let's do that.